What is the chief end of man? Is to glorify God and to enjoy him forever. But there's a pathway that God has given to us to do that. We're made in his image, in his likeness, and we also have been given a purpose. So even as God created Adam in his image and placed him in the garden, he always had intended for Adam to move toward or to be elevated into a higher life with God, a greater consummate form of union and communion with him. We talk about this all the time, but this is what Voss calls the deeper Protestant conception, that eschatology precedes soteriology. By that we mean that there's been a telos, or a goal or plan or purpose in mind for the end of all things, even before Adam fell into sin and there was a need for salvation. So that's why eschatology, or the study of last things, precedes soteriology,
Yes.
because it's prior to and more basic than salvation itself.
And what we're doing here is trying to be even more concrete
Right.
than that statement with Voss, and put it this way. Temple worship in Eden precedes the fall, and that temple worship in Eden, where Adam, as a priest and king under God's authority, is to be consecrated to his worship and adoration on earth, that earthly temple worship prior to the fall is to consummate in heavenly temple worship without reference to the fall. If Adam obeys as a priest and king under the covenant of works, his impermanent setting on earth in Eden as a temple worshiper, as one who in the Eden temple consecrates himself to the worship and enjoyment of God, that earthly temple worship is to give way to him entering into that veiled, yet to be revealed glory temple in heaven, where the angels are worshiping God and consecrated to his glory. The seraphim are crying out, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty," as he sits on his Sabbath
Right.
resting throne. And once you see that, then it puts in proper perspective all of the references to tabernacle or temple after the fall. When you're thinking about the law, for instance, the tabernacle or the temple, stationary, mobile or stationary, those become types and shadows of that archetypal heavenly dwelling that Adam was ordered to enter through perfect obedience, and which Christ himself enters and becomes the man of heaven, a high priest serving in heaven at the right hand of God. So the law, as an administration of the covenant of grace and redemptive history, becomes a typical and symbolic presentation and pre-enactment of what Christ will do when he obeys, consecrates himself. And to bring Glenn Clary's material into this, when he offers himself as a sin offering, is consumed as a burnt offering,
Mm-hmm.
and then ascends up into the presence of God to raise a people into that heaven temple, that's what's being pre-enacted
Right.
under the law.